What's going on, Pick 3 Lottery players? Are you still having problems locating some of the hottest numbers on your grids? Well, if you are, stay tuned. I want to tell you guys about some key digit numbers that can help you locate where some of the hottest numbers are on your grids. All right, we're going to use the example from North Carolina. How many North Carolina players do I have out there? Probably a lot, because you guys hit me up in the comments so often, which I'm very grateful for. We're going to start with April 12th midday. The hit was 742. Now notice here we're using a 317 rundown. Okay, I like using rundowns because when I'm looking for certain things and certain patterns, they tend to appear a little easier to me, and that's just my personal preference. But feel free to backtrack other rundowns that you like to use. I often go between a 123 and a 317 myself. Okay, so I want to talk to you about how to put these grids together. All right. I know there's a lot of numbers here, but don't worry. I'm going to share with you exactly where to place your eye so you can start figuring out where the hottest areas are. Okay. So the first thing we need to do, put the grid together, put in your last hit, which is 742. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add each number down the columns. So for the first column, we're going to add 3 all the way down. So 3 plus 7 is 10. For your 2-digit numbers, only use your ones, place your 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. Only use your 2. Okay? 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Use your 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. And 4 plus 3 is 7. So you know you did it right. The number you start with should be the number you end with. Then you're going to add 1 all the way down the second column, 7 all the way down the third column. Okay, now let's talk about here key digit numbers and why they could be so important and how you put hot combinations together. Now, we'll say this, I cannot guarantee hits on the channel or in the membership, so please play responsibly. Okay, so when we're looking at key digit numbers, I want you guys to start paying attention to the numbers 7 and 2. Okay, now these numbers can be as doubles or sometimes they're in single on split pairs. So if they're together, maybe you're looking at a 7-7 or 2-2 together. Maybe the mirror is 7-2 or 2-7. Okay, if they're single, sometimes they'll just be the 7 or the 2, and I'll show you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's look at the hit itself. The hit itself is actually a giveaway. Sometimes the hit itself will tell you what you have to get ready to prepare for. Start training your eye. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the 7 and the 2. They happen to be split mirrors. Okay, anybody knows what split mirrors are or mirror numbers? Yeah, you should, but if you don't, that's okay. Mirror numbers are actually the same, but they're opposite. That's why I said key digits of 7 and 2. Okay, so there are other mirror numbers that you're going to need to know. And sometimes for the grid, depending on how you're looking at it, you're going to need to know what mirror numbers are anyway. So let me go ahead and just break those down for you. When we say mirror numbers, we're saying it's the same number. It's just opposite of itself. Like 0 could be a 5 or 5 could be a 0. 1 could be a 6. 6 could be a 1. 2 could be a 7. 7 could be a 2. 3 could be an 8. 8 could be a 3. 4 could be a 9. And a 9 could be a 4. Okay, so we're going to mark down our 7, 2. They happen to be split. And further down, they turn. They're going to mirror 2, 7. What people don't understand about mirror numbers is halfway down the rundown, all of the numbers are just mirrors. So like the 742 becomes a 297. That 059 is going to become a 504. So pay close attention to that. Now, we had our live stream the other night, and I had quite a few people from North Carolina saying, Miss Florida, we need to know more about these key digit numbers, and we need to know how to, find some hot numbers around there. Well, did some research, and here we go. So whenever you're seeing your 2 and 7, let's say they're split like this. Okay, I notice a couple of things. All right, I notice that sometimes the numbers will be used in the hit, meaning they're going to take this 2 and they're going to either they're going to kind of corner the hits. All right, I mean, they're going to use this on the bottom, kind of creating a L shape here, or maybe even an L shape this way up. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. I know some people are like, what are you talking about? But pay attention. Watch this. Watch this. Okay. All right, let's go to the 297. Let's start there. So look at this 29. You got this 298 here. 250. Okay. You also have a 743. Make sure you guys know what I'm talking about here. So I need to see what goes above the number. If you look here, you can't see what goes up. But 7, I could go 743. Just wrap it around. Or maybe 705. Okay. Now, they could use the other side as well. I notice they're appearing more on the upper part, but not saying that they won't use the lower numbers. Okay. Some other numbers, just to kind of break it down. Okay. They might want to use 708 on this side. 740. Okay. If you're using the 2s, they may want to go 253 or 295. It's okay. Put them in different orders. But don't worry. Start paying attention. I'm not saying you have to play all those type of numbers. I'm not saying that, but I just want you to understand how to start building the combinations. You'll start noticing, like if they're just using the upper pairs, then you stick to the upper pairs. You may be able to just eliminate the bottom numbers, okay? But what actually hit April 13th evening? 437. 437. All right, so using the key digit, 743, okay? They actually use that. Wasn't that awesome? Yes, it was. Y'all go ahead and make sure you hit that like. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. And when these new videos start dropping, hit that notification bell, okay? But yeah, it could be as simple as that. So these are split. Again, they were formed a little bit differently, but I do want to share with you when the key digits are together, what patterns they showed. Y'all ready? All right. I'm going to switch my papers here. Okay. So now we're going to go through another example. I like to use multiple examples in my videos. And the reason why is because sometimes you'll see one thing and sometimes you have to look at it in a different sense. And you'll see hits coming around, but there was a little subtle change. So I want you guys to start noticing those little changes so that you can predict better numbers for your state. Okay. So let's get back to North Carolina, April 12th evening now. The hit was 260, and of course, by now we know how to put those rundowns together. Yes, Miss Flutter, you know you're the bomb. I appreciate that. Now, I want to share with you a couple things here. Okay, we were talking about those key digits, right? Now, sometimes they're separate, like 2 or 7, like we just had the previous. Sometimes they're together, like doubles. 7, 7, and 2, 2. And sometimes they're together as mirrors, 7, 2 or 2, 7. Okay. Now here, I want you to bring your eye to when they're together. Okay. So you have 7, 7. And you have 2, 2. Okay. But we're still going to use the same type, or we're going to use the same L pattern. Okay. I still want to share with that how you use that. Okay. So here, we're just going to use the uppers, okay? We're not going to use the lower numbers. So here, I would take that 7, 7, 0, 6, okay? But instead of using the 7, I'm just going to wrap around the opposite. So here, we would go 6, 2, 5. Okay, here we actually use the 7. Here, we didn't use any of the 7s on this side, if you understand that. 6, 2, 5. We're just wrapping around that particular number. So let's do it again here. What you do to one part of the rundown, you do to the mirrors as well. So here, we're going to go 2, 1, 5 using the key digit. Without using, we're just going around those key digits, 1, 7, 0. Okay, pay close attention. These hits actually came off of our weekly master list. North Carolina has been hot, and this is how you guys are getting that. Okay, so make sure you pay attention. If you guys in the membership, go back to that weekly master list. You'll see these hits hitting straight off of that. Wow. So you guys had 2 hits. They came off of this just using key digits. Okay, I told you. A plain pick 3 lottery, it doesn't have to be hard, but they're not going to just give it to us, and this stuff is not going to happen every day. I'm going to warn you that right now. So just have fun with it. When you see things, hopefully it'll train your eyes to start picking some hot numbers, but again, I can never guarantee hits or wins. So let's talk about this. Okay, 625 hit. You see how it wrapped around? It didn't use this particular key digit, but it did wrap around the key digit. Okay, so that 625 was hot, but also the 701, it turned 071. 2 hits. Notice how they did the same thing. So when the key digits are together, they may wrap around the key digit, not necessarily using them, right? If they're single, let's go back to that, they may use the key digits. Okay, you know, like we had it here, 743. They're actually using it. Notice the pattern. It's an L-shaped pattern, North Carolina. Notice that. That's why I keep trying to tell people I love looking at patterns. I like to see what keeps going on week by week. I know these don't happen every day. Sometimes we want them to hit the next draw, but these could be some really hot numbers to keep for a few days. Okay, so let me know how you guys are doing below in the comments. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, and don't forget to join our membership. We would love to have you, especially if you like to get a little deeper with the rundowns. You want those hot prediction lists, we love to have you, and we'll see you guys in the next video.